All right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit different of a video. Now, most of you guys that have been following my channel for a while, you know I like to bring a lot of facts, information, truth facts, stuff that I believe in, and it's backed by evidence. And today, there's not going to be much of that at all. I'm just excited about the next few months of Ashes of Creation, and I wanted to talk about that in a video. And I figured I'd warn you in advance because this is just pure hope and optimism. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. If you want to click off and don't want to hear this, that's more than fine too. But I just wanted to talk about what I'm seeing happening the next few months and why it's so exciting. So that's what we're going to do. Let's dive into it. We kick things off for the June live stream that happened in early July with a server meshing update. Now, I'm not going to go into details on what server meshing is. I'm not going to show you guys how stupid I am in this video. But I did a video covering it. I covered why it was a big deal. You guys can feel free to go check that out. Also, a big deal about July is it's the first month of quarter three. For those of you guys that have been following Ashes of Creation for as long as I have, you know that quarter three of 2024 is when Alpha 2 is supposed to come out. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, Alpha 2 is a perpetual alpha, meaning that when it goes live, Alpha 2 will exist until the game goes live. And so a lot of people are looking at this as a chance to test the systems, test the bare bone systems that are going to exist. And it will, obviously the servers will go down for updates, for maintenance and stuff like this, but this will exist until the actual live release happens for Ashes of Creation, which is really exciting. It gives me a chance to go in there, mess with all the different archetypes, mess with all the different augments, test all the different combat abilities, figure out the combat system, and, you know, just nerd out the way I normally do on combat video games like this. So I'm really looking forward to this. A lot of people are looking forward to this, not just from a testing perspective, but this is the next step for Ashes of Creation. Obviously, we get monthly reveals, we get monthly live streams showing different archetypes, showing different systems, and that's great. It's awesome that Ashes of Creation is doing open development, but this is the next step. Now, because they're going to have no NDA for this, you're going to be able to see streamers. You're going to be able to see content creators discussing this game and showing you what the game looks like from an alpha perspective. Is it going to be rough around the edges? Absolutely. Is it going to sometimes glitch, lag, or there going to be disconnects from the game, or the server's going to go down? Absolutely. But now it's not just hearing from Intrepid as to what the game is and the direction they're going. You're going to hear from other players and people whose opinion you respect or don't respect on their opinion on what is going on with the game. And I think that is fantastic. It's the next step. And so it's really cool to finally be here. I've been following this game for 4 years now, and it's been kind of fun to see what's happened over the last 4 years. And so that is a very exciting announcement, and they did announce that at the end of July, we will also be getting the exact date. And so in a couple weeks, when we have this live stream, we will know the exact date for Alpha 2. They said that they're on schedule. So until they change that, we're just gonna go with it. But yeah, it will either be in August or it will be in September. So pretty exciting stuff. The other thing we're getting in July, just briefly, we are also getting the Bard archetype. I've already done a video on the Bard. I will do a preview video on the Bard like I normally do before the week before the live stream. I don't want to go into too many details on this, but out of the archetypes, it is one of the ones I am most excited about. I can provide a link in the description to the other Bard video that I did, kind of talk about it, just basically an power amplifier chess piece in combat. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. We have server meshing, we have the Alpha 2 announcement, we get another archetype reveal. And the next thing, which is part of my tinfoil hat theory. And so, guys, like I said, we're not doing facts and information. We're doing tinfoil hat theories. I'm a content creator. I'm on Discord. I see stuff. I read different content. I read different opinions, and I put two and two together. And so, I'm not going to tell you where I got this information. I'm not even going to tell. I don't even know if it is information. I just kind of wanted to relay this opinion to you guys. But for the last couple weeks, there has been a trickle of people talking about how, like in late July and early August, there will potentially be interviews. Intrepid will potentially be scheduling or conducting interviews around that time period. And it's a busy time period. And I've heard it from multiple different sources. Different people have heard from different people. It's a grapevine thing. I'm not confirming it. The reason I'm bringing it up now is because you want to have confluence, right? You want to have more sources of shady information. If you hear it from one source, it's like, okay, cool, that'd be great if that's happening. But if you're hearing it from different people that aren't really connected to each other, then you're like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And so last week, Asmongold did a react to one of Narc's videos about server meshing. And so I like to go and see what other people are saying, people that aren't in tune with the Ashes of Creation space. And so I watched Asmongold's react, and the overall react took about 10 minutes. He watched the video, provided his input, normal react content. I'm not going to spoil that for you guys. But at around 10 to 10 and a half minutes, the react ended, and he told people to go sub to Narc. And I was like, okay, well, that's the end of it, but there's still 3.5 more minutes to go. And so he started taking questions from chat and started talking to chat and whatnot. And this is where the tinfoil hat theory comes in. He responded to a question, and the question was, are you going to do an interview with Steven soon? And he left it in the video, and he said, yeah, he's like, I'd love to talk to Steven when Alpha 2 goes live and talk about the game and talk about everything that's happening. And it was just another point of confluence. Somebody leaving in a huge content creator, leaving in a little snippet at the end, like, hey, I'd love to do this. And so I think it's all lining up in the same way that it did for Alpha 1. If you guys were around for Alpha 1, you know that let me back up just a little bit here. When you ask people how they heard about Ashes of Creation, a lot of people will point to Lazy Peon's video, like genuinely the most exciting MMORPG I have seen. And a lot of people watch that video and they're very excited for the game. I watched that video. I was also very excited. I wanted to tune in more. But what got me really following Ashes of Creation was Asmongold's interview back then with Steven Sharif. And so I'll provide a link in the description to this as well. It's an hour and a half long. And I just listened to this entire interview, and everything Steven said just kind of resonated with me. I put myself back in those shoes then. And it was the height of COVID. And COVID was a big deal at that time. Everybody was home. Everybody was playing video games. My favorite video game at the time was really suffering from performance because so many people were home and playing, and they were, trying to escape temporarily into a surreal world, and the game just wasn't working very well, and it wasn't very fun. And so I was looking for the next big thing. And in this interview, Steven was talking about how they were going to have 250 v 250 PvP battles, and how they have people from PlanetSide 2, and they're going to have, and they believe that they're going to have 250 v 250, but they're working towards 500 v 500. And that just kind of blew me away at the scale of how big their combat was going to be, because the game I was playing, The Elder Scrolls Online, it was nowhere near those types of battles. And so I was like, man, if you could actually get a game that would work on that large of a scale, it would be great. And his entire thought process of no safe spaces and creating friction and creating drama within a community, it was just so interesting to me. And it was just, at that point in time, I was looking for another game, and Ashes of Creation just kind of spoke to what I wanted to do as a player. And so I went back and I looked at this, and because I had to provide a link in the description for you guys, of course, but I looked, and it's interesting because, like I said, the hype is just starting right now. And if you go look on Google Trends, you will see that there are lots of arching points, right? There's lots of general interest in Ashes of Creation over time, and you see huge blips on the radar. For the last 2 years, you just see blips. I'm pretty sure that they all line up around different archetype reveals or different live streams that got a little bit more excitement. And you see we just recently had a live stream, and you see we're ticking up. But we have 2 huge blips before this. And one of the largest blip that happened on July 19th to the 25th of 2020. And so when you look at this, you're like, okay, wow, what happened in July 19th and to the 25th of 2020? Why was there so much interest at that point in time? Well, on July 19th, Asmongold released this interview with Steven Sharif. Like, this is the interview on July 19th. This is when Alpha 1 was coming out. And so when Alpha 2 comes out, I'm not going to be surprised at all when the overall interest shoots up in the same way. Because the other thing that I announced in the last Ashes of Creation video that I did, they're reopening up Alpha 2 access. We don't know what the price is going to be. We don't know what it will entail. We all know that the Alpha 2 keys were a bundle to where you get Alpha 2, Beta 1, Beta 2, and also 6 months of access in game, because it's going to be a membership service. You get all these different things, and the overall price for having access to everything is $250, or was $250, sorry. Alpha 2 on its own will be less. I don't know how much less. When I was comparing numbers, it looked like it was around $60 or so, but we'll see what the price is. They haven't announced the price, but they said it's going to stand on its own, which once again is going to open the doors for people to come in and potentially want to try an MMORPG that's in a testing phase that I'm very excited about. And so it's going to be cool to get potentially more people coming in to test out this game and really put in feedback and provide it to the Intrepid team so that they release the best game possible. And I think that's great. About 2 years ago, they announced that they breached 100,000 people signed up for Alpha 2. If they open up the doors again, I'm curious how high that number is going to go. Is it going to hit 200,000? I have no idea. I guess it's going to depend on the cost of the keys, but that is going to be a very large alpha, and that is a lot of people. And it leads me to the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video. There are a lot of people signed up for this game. In the current echo chamber, and I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but the current space, the way Ashes of Creation is right now, it's changing. It's changing. We are going to be a much smaller blip in the space because the attention that Intrepid is going to rightfully deserve for all their hard work, it's going to start paying off here in the next couple months. And it's going to have a lot more attention from larger content creators, from people actually getting in to test the game. And as long as it's not a buggy, laggy mess where you're getting kicked, for a week on end, 2 weeks, and it's not like super boring, it's going to generate a lot more interest than what it currently is. And it's going to bring a lot more people into the fold, which I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to see people come in and, kind of see the stuff that I've been excited about for years now. And so it's going to be fun for me to test, but a lot of these people, they're going to be experiencing these things for the first time. And so all this different feedback is going to be good. It's going to be good for the Intrepid team, and it's going to be good for the community to have more people participate in the community. And I think this Ashes community has been fantastic. I think it's great, but it's also cool because at the same time, we're just such a fraction of what they're going to potentially hit in a few years from now. And we're going to see a moment in time of that here in a couple months. We're going to see what this release, like a microcosm of what the release of this game is going to look like. And I think that's really exciting. I think that's going to be really cool to see people hopping in, trying it out, getting that, although it is a testing phase, people will be looking at it as a first MMO experience. But that's good stuff. And so it will also show some people that, they might not be interested in this game. Some people that have been following this game for a while, that are hoping it's going to change, that are hoping that it will be something that it's been saying that it's not. I think the realization of that will hit, and some people, even content creators, will slowly be stepping away as well. And so we're going to go through a huge change, kind of like a phoenix, shockingly, where it's just going to be a different stage in the game's development. It's going to be a different process. And the current one that we're in it's got a shelf life, guys. It's ending, and it's cool. It's bittersweet. But it's exciting at the same time. And so I just wanted to leave that little bit here. I'm really looking forward to the next couple months. I'm looking forward to all the testing, providing feedback, sharing it with you guys. I have a lot of big things in the works for you as it pertains to this game. I am not ready to reveal that yet, but we are working hard behind the scenes. And so I'm going to end this video here. If you guys have any questions or comments, not about the surprise stuff, I can't share with you yet. If you guys have any other questions or comments, please provide in the section below, and I will do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.